breaking news. Date set. All roads lead to Aso-Rock for historic free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu protest in Abuja. Hear the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome once again to Biafra Unite channel /television this very moment. Today's date is 9th of October 2025, and I have breaking information for every one of you listening to my voice right now from wherever you are all over the world. Dear friends and lovers of freedom, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people. Date has been set, and I'm sure that people are ready, or should I say, everyone is ready for this very free MNK historic march to Aso Villa in Abuja. So I'm going to show you everything, but we are going to start with the breaking news, right? After that, I will now show you how it all began, including the people who have come out, even some, organizations that have volunteered themselves to join this very historic free MNK march to Aso-Rock, where Tinubu is sleeping. They want to march to the Tinubu's bedroom in demand for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. In fact, for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's immediate and unconditional release. So, without further ado, let us begin with what is on your screen at the moment. And as you can see, I'll be reading this from the official and verified X page of course, the legal luminary, Barrister Aloye Jimako, Special Counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And this is what he has tweeted just a couple of minutes ago, as at the time of recording this very news. He said, the great march for MNK is set. Let's go. Then he did a screenshot. This very screenshot, of course, is from Omoyele Sowore. So let us read. He said, we now have a date for the historic #Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest march to the Aso-Rock Villa in Abuja. It is October 20th at 7 a.m. Let me take that again because this is very, very, awesome. This is very, very beautiful. We now have a date for the historic free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Now protest march to Aso-Rock Villa in Abuja. It is October 20th at 7 a.m. So for those who have been waiting for this very moment, the time is set. It is on October 20th. This very month of October 20th, today is 9th, meaning we have 11 days to prepare. Wherever you want to join from, whether you are joining from the east or you are joining from the west, all those, human rights activists, even though you haven't spoken about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before, or you have been speaking about him both secretly and openly, or you love freedom. Every human rights activist, including the likes of Very Dark Man and other human rights activists, you are expected to join this very historic protest. Omoyele Sowore will be there. As a matter of fact, he's calling on other political, leaders. Let me use the word leaders because that is what they, portray. That's what they claim to be. Because as for me, I do not see them as leaders. You cannot be leading the dead. You can't be leading the hungry. It is only a fool and a coward that can lead a hungry man. Why your tummy is your belly don't fool. Yet you are leading a hungry man. Don't you know that man is going to devour you one day? He's going to devour you and eat you up. You are eating 3 square meal. Your belly is full. Your tummy is very, very big and huge. Yet the people or the person you are leading is dying of hunger. Yet you still claim to be a leader. I don't know. So, but let me call them, but based on what they claim to be, the political leaders, Omoyele Sowore is calling them to join the protest, especially those who have been verbally calling for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So you are now officially invited to join the protest. let's do it physically demand for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Aso-Rock Villa, where Tinubu is sleeping every day, every night. Now, without further ado, let me now begin to show you some other people who have lent their voice, including how it all started. So earlier in the day, yesterday, right, Omoyele Sowore made a tweet. I think this was after the court appearance of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because Omoyele Sowore was there live. So he made a tweet, right? And I genuinely love what he said here. Especially for those of us who never believed in Omoyele Sowore before. Those of us who are skeptical when it comes to the relationship between the Yoruba and the Igbo people, because we see the Yorubas allying with the North, allying with the Fulanese to suppress the Igbo people, especially what is happening in Lagos presently. I'm not even talking about what happened during the war. So what is happening in Lagos presently or currently right now is a case study. So people like us, you can't dispute our thoughts. So, but for what Omoyele Sowore said here is very, very, very important, especially for those who think like me. We may, at least, even though we don't change our thoughts, but at least we can take this. We can take this and at least cherish this very moment. Now, according to Omoyele Sowore, he said, I will set aside my differences with some politicians for one's cause. So, when he said, I will set aside my differences with some politicians, I am using it, on my own, based on my own belief. So I will, because Omoyele Sowore is a Yoruba man, now I will set aside my differences or my thoughts concerning the Yorubas, how they have been aligning with the North to suppress the Igbos. So I'll set that aside for what? He said, for one cause. For one cause. That is where all of us are channeling our focus right now. For one cause. And he continued, I challenge every politician or person of good conscience from the Southeast who says they want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu released to stop the rhetoric. Time for action is now. Let's march to Aso-Rock Villa. Every governor, senator, member of the House, traditional ruler, priest, Eze, Igbo person, and every Nigerian who believes in Kanu's freedom, come out. He said, come out and do more than talk. I will lead this peaceful march to the Aso-Rock Villa. He said something here which is very, very important. There are some names he called here. He said, traditional rulers, priest. You know why I'm hammering that word, priest? Because this name, anybody who bears this name in our label today has been one of the biggest problems that we have, not only in the Igbo land, but all over Nigeria, or should I say Africa as a whole. Because when this Church of 18 started in Israel, it was genuine. Europeans took it and turned it to politics. When he landed in Africa, it becomes a business. Anybody who called him or herself a priest today in Africa is a businessman. In all over Nigeria, I'm not sure if we have more than 2 real priests all over Nigeria. I'm not sure if we have more than 2 persons who are genuinely called by God to do his work. So if you know you are a priest, you have been whining and dining with the politicians. You have been whining and dining with the politicians because you are targeting their pockets, you are targeting their money. And in the open, you normally, partially call for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. because majority of your members are supporters of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So the time is now. You have been invited to this very all-important protest, October 20th. Do not say that it was a sudden, event. No, you still have time to prepare. Priests and traditional rulers, I don't know how to put it. The people who have put us in the quagmire that we are today now is the traditional rulers. These are, since they begin to collect office staff from governors, that is when the original Igweship in Igbo culture died. The original Igweship in Igbo culture died a natural death, a sudden death, not even a natural death, because he cannot die. When Biafra comes, the real tradition, the custodian of our tradition, will be restored. So, all these political Igwes who have been collaborating with the governors to bring in all sorts of, so-called security, operatives like Ebubako, including Udogachi and Co. and the Zoo Janjaweed terrorist army to massacre innocent Igbo people in Igbo land. The time is now. Ọ bụ na achọ gị dade na afụrọ gị, anyị malụ na iso na ndị na-egbu anyị. In all over Igbo land, ndị igwe niile unu ya apụta ija. Unu ncha ya apụtacha ija. Including that criminal that ran away from from Okigwe, and now you are ruling from Abuja. You are wanted. If you want to come back home, you are wanted. You are needed in this very protest. Priests and the traditional rulers. The time is now. Obi the today. Mo Kenya, be genuine. Onwere onye obi dị mma n'ife gbasara Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, he continued and said, no more empty noise. Let CC Soludo, Senator Baribe, Alex Oti, Peter Obi, and all others who claim to care step up and join us in person. Very fantastic. Senator Baribe is now. The time is now. Time for rhetoric is over. Now, he said in conclusion, we go together peacefully. He made it clear, peacefully, legally, and visibly to demand justice and an end to MNK's persecution. Persecution, not prosecution. Persecution. He said, hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu now. Thank you, Omoyele Sowore. I am very, very pleased to see this from you. Very, very, very importantly to note. Now, it did not end there. I will show you, this is how it all started, right? So I will now show you those who are now, coming up, joining or making it very clear to join this all-important and historic protest in Aso-Rock. Now, another organization known as FENRAD. I will tell you this organization for those of you who do not know. Another organization has joined the protest. Now, FENRAD, this is from Sahara Reporters. FENRAD backs Sowore's planned rally to Presidential Villa, renews calls for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's immediate release. Sahara Reporters. Now, this is it. FENRAD backs Sowore's planned rally to Presidential Villa, renews call for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. So, who are FENRADs? Who are the FENRADs? FENRAD is a non-profit and non-governmental organization founded in 2004 in the zoo for environment, human rights, and good governance. That is FENRAD. You understand? Environmental sustainability, human rights, and socio-economic development in the zoo called Nigeria. So they are FENRAD. Is a non-profit organization. Now, they have joined Omoyele Sowore to call for the release, not just to call, but to join the protest. So they are supporting the protest, and they have assured their availability to join these very all-important and historic protests for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Aso-Rock, not just in Abuja, but in Aso Villa, where Tinubu is sleeping. Right, now let me play a certain video for you. I don't want to analyze the video. I'm just going to play the video for you to watch and see what Rafu Wazirike has to say concerning both the protests and the current situation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Ndi Igbo at large in the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. I want everybody to listen. With what is going on now, the situation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and these criminals who hijacked the struggle for restoration of Biafra, you don't need anybody else to tell you that criminals have hijacked the struggle for Biafra. You don't need anybody to tell you that the plan of the zoo is working for planting these criminals to hijack the struggle, waiting for Mazi Simon Ekpa to go in so that they will use the opportunity to destroy the struggle. You don't need anybody to tell you. Because if you watch the video of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu yesterday, live in the court, you will see that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is dying. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is dying. You don't need anybody to analyze anything for you. That's why when I saw the video, I broke down. It was impossible for me to come either live broadcast or even pre-recorded broadcast because I broke down. I broke down completely. When I saw Mazi Nnamdi Kanu video yesterday in court, I was completely broken. Are you paying attention? So this is a situation whereby whoever that called him or herself a leader in this very struggle now, this is an opportunity. A situation like this is when you are expected to come out from your shells, to come out from your hidden place and make a declaration and go into work immediately. Go into work immediately. Give instructions, give orders, and things will begin to happen. The zoo will start to feel the heat. But lo and behold, who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Those who have given themselves titles. DPP, APP, this and that. Conference resolution committee, whatever they give themselves. Everybody stay mute till now. Everywhere is silent till now. That is how you know leadership and leaders. When Mazi Simon Ekpa was outside with us, this kind of nonsense cannot happen. That same yesterday, you see him. Oh yeah, potana piambamba. If I name the zoo, they feel the heat. The zoo will be feeling the heat. But if the collect ego, just every Saturday I'm collect ego napu. Next time he tell you next week Saturday. That is all they care for. That is all they care for. And look at your leader. Your leader na nonga. Your leader na, and in fact, the reason why the case was adjourned yesterday is just just to consider the judge Omotosho is waiting for the Nigerian Medical Association to submit a written letter to him for him to consider whether Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's health is deteriorating, whether he can be allowed to go to hospital. For somebody to go to hospital, court has to decide it. While you see the person is dying, you see the person is very, very down, very, very sick. I rest my case. Watch the video to Salu Numozia and make it go viral.
I've listened to the court appearance of Nnamdi Kanu today and listened to the representations made by his lawyers, and which to say that I want to be part of any peaceful demonstration in Abuja or anywhere in Nigeria for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I personally reached out to Barrister Lawyer Ejimako long ago, telling him that I would want to be one of the witnesses, defense witnesses to Nnamdi Kanu. Recently, just about last week, I reminded him of my desire to be one of the defense witnesses to Martin Nnamdi Kanu. You can ask Lawyer Ejimako. I told him. So, for this new development, I want to be part of it. I am ready to go to Abuja or any part of Nigeria where such demonstrations will take place. I will be part of it, provided it is anchored on non-violence, peaceful protest. I will be there, and I mean it. I will personally be there. This is not all about Nnamdi Kanu. This is about Ndi Igbo. If anybody thinks that Nnamdi Kanu is being humiliated today, no. It's Ndi Igbo that are being humiliated. It's not about Nnamdi Kanu. There's nothing like terrorism, this and that. Nothing like that. When my men were being killed in the streets of Southeast, were they terrorists? What did they do? When Nnamdi Kanu, when Ojukwu was declared to be arrested by DSS, simply because he said he supported Wazirike. He was given a one-way ticket, economy class, to Abuja. What did he do? It was just to humiliate Ndi Igbo by commanding our leader, Ojukwu, to proceed to Abuja on a one-way ticket, economy class. So all these things, I know them very well. It has got nothing to do with Nnamdi Kanu. It has to do with Ndi Igbo. To tell us that we don't matter in Nigeria and that we could be treated anyhow. If you talk of terrorism charge or whatever, how can you be negotiating with terrorists from another tribe, one tribe, and keeping into prison terrorists from another tribe? That's the justice. So it has nothing to do with Nnamdi Kanu. It has to do with the injustice rooted in Nigeria against Ndi Igbo. That is why I will be there. That's why I will be there. It could be anybody else. It could be anybody else. It has nothing to do with Nnamdi Kanu, terrorism, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. It has everything to do with Ndi Igbo. The situation of Ndi Igbo in Nigeria, the humiliation of Ndi Igbo in Nigeria, and everybody is affected. We have to do this because of the future of our children. I will be there. Thank you.